Good morning. It is 11:46 a.m. on Sunday, July 17th, 2016. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, slept in a lot this morning, but I needed it. I feel well rested. I was dreaming a lot, weird kind of vague dreams about, like, I was trapped in various abstract scenarios, like shrunk really small and then running around on some big, like, fractal sponge. Yeah, it's hard to explain because it's probably doesn't actually make any coherent sense. Fortunately, they were not scary dreams. It was more just like mild annoyance and determination, like, oh well, gotta get out of this, that sort of thing. So, that said, because I kept kind of coming in and out of dreams as I was dozing and sleeping in, I suspect I was getting lots of good REM sleep. So, I went to see Ghostbusters last night, and I loved it. I mean, comedies are subjective, obviously, so, can't guarantee that everyone's going to love it, but any kind of movie is like that. For example, I love the Speed Racer movie deeply, but a lot of people, not for them. And that's okay, although, it does sting a little bit sometimes. But I liked it a lot. I had a lot of fun. The audience seemed happy with it, and so I felt like they struck a really good balance of, visual similarities, parallels, and homages to the original, including cameos from a whole bunch of people that I won't spoil for you. And also just kind of being its own new thing. It felt a little bit like in comics when you have Elseworlds stories, like, how do things happen on Earth 2 or Earth, 65 or whatever, and where you have sort of like rhyming stories but remixed, and that's what this feels like. It's like a parallel Earth version of the original, and I am totally happy with that. I thought all 4 of the main cast of the Ghostbusters, I thought all 4 of them had their moments to shine and really brought something to the overall chemistry. I think if I had to pick a favorite, I'm going to go with the crowd on this one and say Holtzman is amazing. She's just super weird, but in a fun way, and it just feels like, yeah, I want to be friends with her, even though there might be risk to my personal safety involved. But yeah, and then of course Chris Hemsworth is Kevin the receptionist, and he's a lot of fun too. They definitely let him get super goofy in this, and it's very silly. And I just thought that the movie was an awful lot of fun. I think you could maybe say that it's a slightly lighter in tone than the original, because the original is definitely more of like sort of dark, sarcastic humor, as in a more grounded world around them. And this one is a little more like the whole world is a little lighter, a little goofier. But that's just like if you're really gonna try to draw lines and make direct comparisons. I love the original movie. I think it's really great, but I was never opposed to a remake anyway. Like, I'm generally not as remake averse as a lot of people are. That doesn't mean that I think that everything needs to be remade, but just in the sense that remaking something doesn't bother me the way it does for some people. Like, I know some people just have trouble separating them, I suppose, but for me, I'm just like, no, you are totally allowed to just still like the first one and not like the new one. If that's your preference, that's okay. Nobody's going to stop you. And yet, I really like both of these. So I feel like if you're going to do a remake, this is how you do it. You know, you take what worked, and then you do your own new thing with it. And remakes fail when they try too much to be just like 4. And so having, you know, a different kind of group of people answer the call. Incidentally, the whole answer the call thing has an additional fun parallel in the movie that I won't spoil here. But short version is, comedies are subjective, and so I can't promise anything to anybody. But I would say if you saw Bridesmaids and Spy, it's that same sense of humor. And so I really liked those movies, and I really liked this movie. If you saw those movies and didn't like those movies, then this one is maybe not for you. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay if a movie's not for you every time. Really. It'll be all right. There are lots of movies that are not for me. Anyway, though, I don't mean to get all like condescending about it. Short version is, good news, I really like the movie. I recommend it, especially if you liked Spy and Bridesmaids, other Paul Feig movies. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes. Yay.